Hey. Hey everybody, welcome back. I am on day 2 of Christmas in July with Craft With Me, all the crafty things, and I wanted to say we have another Christmas sign that we are doing today. It's Christmas in July, and this kit today is a little bit bigger sign. So it is twice as long, but it's the same height. And so before we get started with that, if you are new to this live, what I'm going to do is show you guys the one that we did yesterday so that I can put it to the side and have a little bit more workspace. So let's see. Hi, Lisa. You ordered your first Christmas craft. Yay, I'm so glad. So this is the one that we did yesterday. This is the kit that we did yesterday. And it is actually live and posted up in the Crafty Life Mom shop if you want to get this one. And then I also posted a link. I put it up on the blog so you can go back and watch the live as well if you wanted to see how we created this one. I'm going to put that down out of the way. And so I'm doing our second Christmas in July craft kit sign today. And this one is also a Christmas tree one. And I think I'm going to stick with the same colors. Maybe, maybe not. We might just do like that green and like black vibe. I kind of like that look. It's a little bit more of a farmhouse look. So I think that's what we're going to go with today. What is it, Lisa? Oh, there's 2 pieces. Been looking forward to this all day. Oh, yay. You make me smile when you say that. So today's sign is fresh cut Christmas tree. So this is a bigger sign that we are doing today. And so I have the stencil already pre-done. And when you order the kits, just like I talked about yesterday, when you order the kits, if you order the trim, it comes pre-cut to size, and it is going to include pre-drilled nail holes if you add on the trim. You don't have to get the trim. You can get it without the trim. But if you do get the trim, the stain will be included, and it'll just be the standard like farmhouse distress stain. It's not too dark. It's not too light. Of course, you can do any other color stain that you want. You'll get a small little cup of it, which is the one that I kind of used today, that same color. And it's kind of a mixed color that I've got. And it will have the holes in there, so you can just simply use a household hammer to nail in your trim. And this is how it will come. It's gonna be like taped up like this. So we've been working on getting these kits put together. So I'm going to go ahead, first things first, just like you would do when you get your kit, when you sit down to actually make it, you want to stain your trim first. Now this is, like I said, an add-on. You don't have to get the trim, but I just like it. I think it adds a little bit to the actual sign, the kit itself, which is just nice, a nice little finished look. And just like I talked about yesterday, so in my house, oops, sorry, I think I'm off the camera there. In my house, I have a hutch area. Like I have a big hutch, and it stores all of like my pottery pieces. I have china in there that's from my grandmother, and like we really don't use it. I have some silver in there that's from her. And just some like really unique pieces. And while like I don't use it, it's really on display kind of, and it's really pretty to look at, but above it is this empty space. And so here lately, I've been really, really into like decorating that space and making it kind of like functional with the seasons. So I am layering wood signs up there like these that I'm creating and showing you today. And yeah, so it's a fun little thing to do. And then you can also put like, you know, a window frame up there behind it. I did a recent post on my Instagram showing how I used a window frame to layer all the different sides. And I think it's just really a cool, unique way to just add some more charm and fun to your home decor. It's definitely a space that was forgotten for me. And And so I'm kind of bringing it back to life, okay? So what I'm doing here with my trim pieces is I'm using a sponge brush to basically dry sponge this on. So what I'm doing is I'm wiping a little line on there and then sponging it like kind of off while rubbing it into all the sides. So you can see here, that's what I'm doing. Just kind of drying it into the wood there. And we do the trim pieces first because we like this part to be completely dry before we nail it all together at the end. So this is just the easiest thing to kind of do, get done and get dry out of the way, like this. And there it is, let's see, there we go. Okay, so there is my first piece. And this is just, so look, let me show you, like, stain, no stain, right? It's very subtle, very light. And I even do the ends here because you do see a portion of those when you actually nail these together, because they're just square cuts. They're not anything like super fancy when it comes to that. So while I'm staining these, let's see who's here. Hi, Joni. Hi, Danielle. How are you guys? So I have two options today for today's kit. It is a Christmas kit. That's what we're doing. Christmas in July. And I'm going to let you guys take the vote. I can do traditional red and green colors, like red, green, black, and white is what this kit paint colors come in. Or I can do like green and black with some white and show you more of that like greener farmhouse. I don't know what that's called. Maybe like a more modern Christmas tone that you see, you know, like I've seen like hunter green with black in a couple of years past. So you guys tell me, do you think I should have red in there, like traditional red and green? Or should I just keep it like greens and black tones for this Christmas sign? Let me know. Put a comment there. And when we get ready to start with the paint, I'll look and see what you guys are saying. Don't be shy to comment. Like, it's not going to affect anything if you make a choice. Nobody's going to get mad. Safe place here. Okay, so I'm down onto my second trim piece. This takes hardly any time. And just so you know, going live, I actually am working a little faster than what I like to do. You know, I like to like sit down usually and kind of like take my time, but I don't know what it is about going live. I feel a little pressure to be speedy. So, forgive me, because I do like to more likely sit and take my time, which hopefully when you buy the kit, you will do the same. Like I try to get this kit done and live in an hour or less. And I would think when you sit down to do it, especially if it's the first time doing it, you'd probably, just so you know, would spend a little bit more time doing that. So I'm just doing these kind of quick and fast to show you how to do these kits. So, and they're super fun. Like the beauty of these is that you can get a couple of them and sit down and do it with some friends and have like a craft night. I totally love those. I used to host those and used to bring in like different people to teach a couple of my girlfriends and I like different types of crafts, different types of wreaths, all the fun things. And so this is definitely one of those things that you can do without actually having to have an instructor. Like you can just kind of do them all together, but you can all get a different sign as well. Now, I am going live every day this week with a Christmas design, okay? But I have over, I think I counted yesterday, 30 different Christmas designs total that I'm gonna be putting into the shop. 60 total for the end of the year, and that's including some fall and Halloween ones. So just to kind of give you an idea, this is the second one, And over the next few weeks, I will be putting up that many. And I think it's just because I've really fallen in love with working with wood and crafting with wood. Now, I'm not going to build like furniture, at least not that I know of yet, but I do like doing like these wood signs and these types of crafts. So you can definitely expect to see a little bit more of this in the future from me. And hopefully it will expand into some other ideas that I have, which once I get to that point, I will share that with you guys when that happens. But for right now, I'm not sure, so we will wait. But these paint kits with wood are my new, latest, greatest favorite thing to do. And yes, I'm not gonna lie, it is a little messy. I said that yesterday, but this washes right off, especially this stain. It's a water-based stain. I think that's what helps it have the lighter tone of color and what helps it to have an easy mess. So this one doesn't really have any odor to it. It's kind of nice. You can work with it inside your house and it not smell like awful stain smell, because I've had that happen in the past. And so, yeah, it's a really nice stain. And it's just like a weathered stain. It's almost like, you know, it's got a little bit on it, just enough to kind of give that farmhouse trim edge, which is the look I love and I love for these signs. But like I said, you don't have to use this one that comes with it. You can totally do your own stain, or a darker stain, or a gray color, or, you know, a red toned color, whatever matches your furniture. If you want it to match, you can totally do that. So it is up to you on how you do it. Okay, so this is my last piece, and I am going ahead and getting ready to start the paint sign. So did you guys decide if we should do red and green traditional, or if we should stick with, or if I should be a little brave and just stick with like the farmhouse dark greens, mixed greens, and like black? I didn't see, I have to go back and pull the comments back to see if anybody made a suggestion. It's really hard to tell. Let's see. I see Lisa said green and black. I can't reach the thing to like scroll it down. So I see Lisa said green and black. So I was wanting to go towards green and black, so we're gonna go with green and black. I'm sorry if some of you said red. I just like got that all on my hand. Okay, so this design, super cute, super fun. I think this one's like one of my favorites for right now. Although we have a really cute one for tomorrow, so. Okay, so this is a longer sign. This is the only, like each design is made for the size of the board. I don't have different sizes yet. Not that that won't happen in the future, but for right now, like each design is the size that it's shown for, and it's like in the description. So this is a roughly 12 by 24 size. Obviously when you put the stencil on and the trim, it adds a little bit here and there, but this is the size. So for today, I said that I would show you guys a painted background. Yesterday, I left the background the natural wood color, and today I wanted to do a background color for you. So I pre-painted the other side of this board, which is white. So I am gonna go ahead and show you that. I just pre-painted it white, and I don't know if you can see with the light, like here's the stain, here's like the natural color of this board, and then here it is, I pre-painted it white. This is just one coat on here. We can totally do a second coat, which is probably what I would do. The paint will be enough to do a second coat, but you can also do like one heavy coat, and then you can also do the like one heavy coat or even two coats and sand some of it off so it has that weathered look. It is completely optional on how you do that. I'm gonna leave it the one coat because I feel like I did a pretty heavy coat earlier. so that it would be pretty much dry. It's still wet, and just to kind of give you an idea, I painted this base, this background white roughly an hour ago. Now, like I said, you can do this project as long as you want, or you can shorten it up. One way to shorten it up to get ready to do like the main part of the project is to take a hair dryer or a heat gun. Just be careful, don't get it too close, and actually dry your paint. You don't want to get the heat gun too close because it might crack or bubble the paint, and then you might end up with a mess. So just be careful of that. But one thing you can do is take a hair dryer, an older one or something like that, if you want to keep it in your craft room, which I probably should do that. That will be happening soon. Because I have a heat gun in my garage and I have a hair dryer in my bathroom, but I don't have one in here. I have an iron in here along with a heat press, but I don't have a hair dryer or a heat gun. So that's next to the craft room. But yeah, so you'll want to take a some kind of like little bit of medium heat, low heat, and help dry your paint, just slightly running over it like this to speed it along. And then you only have to wait maybe like 30 minutes for it to get to the same dryness that this paint is right now, which has been sitting for an hour. And like to the feel, it's still like cool feeling, like it's dry, I can touch it, it doesn't get on my hands, but you know that feeling that it's like, ooh, it's not 100% dry. So just be aware of that. Okay, so let's move on to the fun part. This is the design that we're doing today. Fresh cut Christmas trees, right? So it's very similar to the look and design of like a Christmas tree farm sign that you can layer, like I said, on your mantle. I'm trying to like pull my hair out of the way, but not look crazy. So it's very similar to that, but this is, you know, longer, so it's a different look, a different design. Now, when you get your stencil, it comes with the back, and it has the clear, like you guys can see the shiny transfer on it. So what you want to do is pull the backing away and then lay it down on your design. This is like probably the hardest, like hold your breath part, but I promise you it's easy. Like it's not, and if there's like little things or little mistakes that happen, it's really easy. Okay, sorry, just like, all right, so what I do is I typically peel back at an angle my design slowly, and then when I notice that like a piece of the part I want to stay down is pulling up with the vinyl, which this happens if you're making vinyl decals or any kind of other project. This is like the trick that I do. Let me see if I can get this in the camera. I push it down, like I almost crease it and then pull it not at an upward angle, but more of a like straight across angle. And to me, that just seems to be all the difference in helping it go. That's with any kind of vinyl projects, guys. That's just the tip that I have, that I use. When it comes to peeling away the backing or the part that you don't want or whatever. That is the easiest like tip I think that I could share with you when it comes to that. So I'm just slowly working my way from the right side to the left side. And like I said, if I see a little like insert of the P come up and I'm like, oh, I want that to stay, I put it back down, kind of give it a little push, crease, and then peel it away. And I just kind of help it and slowly pull that section off. And then I get kind of like back to my groove or my rhythm again of pulling. And so I just watch the design as I go, making sure that I am not lifting up anything that I don't want to lift up. Now, in terms of like different designs, some of them have more details than others, which means there's more like little pieces that need to be down versus come up. And so that can be tricky. The one yesterday has a little bit more of those tiny pieces, but trust me, I'm gonna send it to you, you know, the best way I know how to make sure that those little pieces are not too crazy. And here's the thing, if they drive you nuts, like you can lift them up. Some of them you don't have to have it all. Like the inside of a P you kind of have to have, or the inside of an O you kind of have to have. But some of them are just like a little extra added detail, and it looks fine without it altogether. So it is your choice. Like if you want to finagle sticking it back down or not, it's up to you. All right, so there's my back. Now it's sticky, right? And we are ready to lay it down on my board. And so the best way to do this is I like to kind of hover, especially on these bigger designs. I like to hover and kind of find my middle point. You can be fancy, you can be extra and measure the middle and put a little pencil mark if that is you. That's not really me. Yes, I have some OCD about some things, but with my crafts, like I have certain perfections about certain things, but when it comes to this kind of stuff, I eyeball it. So for this is roughly, like I said, 12 by 24. There's a middle section. I know I kind of want my tree to come down. And so I'm just going to like put where I think the middle is. And then what I do is once I get that section where it needs to be, I make it like a U and I lay that down first. So let me just kind of reposition, make sure I'm edge to edge here, and then I kind of U it, just like you see me doing here. And I do one side and then I do the other. And then once you get it there, it's just time to press it on as best as you can. You can use your hands. The heat of your palms and hands help to kind of like warm the vinyl down to the painted surface. Now, putting vinyl on a painted piece of wood is sometimes tricky, and it's the same kind of method we did for the back. When you go to pull it off, make sure the parts you want to stay down, stay down. That is just one of the crazy things about it. If you have a Cricut or silhouette, you can get, usually like this little thing comes with it or it comes in a kit. You can also buy these at Home Depot or Lowe's. I don't know the name of them. My husband could tell you. But they look like a credit card, and then they have like a bump in the middle, kind of like how this says, like a grabber. And they're like $1. You just have to kind of look. But a credit card or your driver's license works just as good. And so what I like to do is just kind of squeegee it down to kind of smooth out the whole thing before I peel the top off, because that's the part that will reveal just the stencil, okay? So once you get that, what you want to do is kind of find a corner spot. And this one, I kind of, because the tree is so big, just so you know, on this one, I kind of brought it down a little bit instead of being up. There's certainly like a little bit of extra space down here where you could even add more words if you want to, but the design itself is not meant for that. So I kind of lowered it down just so it was more centered to my board for some reason. That's just the way it was. But once you get it started, which sometimes it's a pickle, you know, and I'll be honest with you, I did this one with 2 different tapes, and this one's a little bit stronger, so it's taking me a minute. I usually typically use the other kind when I peel, but this is the one that I have on here. So I'm going to work this one as best as I can because it is tough on there to reveal that. Okay. And I'm just working on my edge here first, and I'm kind of lifting it the whole way just to make sure I get it started to kind of help it before I start doing that full peel. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. If you guys have ever worked with any vinyl product, you probably know what I'm talking about. There's sometimes a toughness to it, and it's kind of like makes me hot when I'm on camera trying to do it because I know y'all are watching. But you know, it just kind of like, it's real tough. So this is the only part of it that I'm just like, you know, like I don't want to pull that up, which I kind of did right there. You see that? Got to talking. pull that piece up, which is okay. You just lay it back down. Smooth it back out with your finger. And then get back to pulling. Easy. So just push it like you do, and then, or push it like that, and then smooth it back out. So let me do the same thing here. And this one is tough on this little S for some reason. This is the one that has a little bit more detail that I want to be careful about. So forgive me if I'm not looking up. I know yesterday I didn't on some of it, but this is the harder part of the whole project. So, just want to keep my thing in check. Okay, getting there. There's a piece that wrinkled with it, which I had a feeling that might do that with this piece of vinyl. Once I get through this section of it, it will be better. Okay. Just so you know, like this little corner, which I probably shouldn't have done this, but this is what happened today. I ran out of my other normal transfer tape. So I had to go and use a brand I don't love for this little corner. And that is this hard one that I'm pulling off right now. I'm not gonna say the brand, y'all might figure it out, but it's not my favorite. I don't like to use it. This was like given to me. And this is why I don't like it, because it's just too strong. It just, you know, it can wreak havoc if you're not careful on your design. So these will not be shipped with this brand, just so you know. These kits. I use another kind that is definitely much more user-friendly and easier to work with. So it takes experience to kind of know what you're doing with this one, this corner piece anyway, which is what I'm dealing with right now, which is why this is so slow. So I do apologize. It is just the way this piece is, unfortunately. And if I could change it, I would. Would in a heartbeat. But I wanted it to have its, which I'm cutting through it here with my tool. So, I made this sample one a while back, so I used what I had, but the ones that we did already are not gonna have this. So don't worry, you won't have this problem, I promise you. All right. Next up, there we go. It's working a little bit now. It is so strong, it wants to take half the thing with it, you know, and that's just no good. No good. Do not use this brand. I don't endorse it, so you don't ever see me talk about it. If you've asked me in person though, I would tell you not to get this brand. But I work with this company, so I have to be careful, okay? All right, so here we go. This is gonna be the problem child of the night here with this stencil. This little corner is gonna be my pickle. But I'm gonna get this for you guys so you can see it once you get it all laid out. So while I work on this, you guys tell me if you have any questions about anything with these kits, anything about crafting in general, using your silhouette or your Cricut, anything like that going on that you want to know. I'm happy to share it with you or give you a tip about it. Yes, no, maybe so. You guys are like, get the thing off already. I am, I'm working on it. Let's see. I was suffering from I don't know what that is. I don't know who that is making that comment. Casey, if you see that. Can you get in there? Okay. Let's keep going. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and cut this part off that I've already peeled. This part is the hardest part, I swear. I hate this part of it with this bad tape. This is such a pretty design, and the tape is just, you know, being a pickle right now. So hold on. We're gonna get there. See, here we go. All right. Getting there, part's lifting up, so I'm just lifting carefully, like I said before. Making sure I keep my details pushed down onto the design, onto my board. Making sure I have it all, and I'm just kind of like balling this up as I go with it. Putting it out of the way here. There's a little part of my E. So I want to make sure I have that down like I said earlier. Just press it with your finger and then fold it back. Like that. And then, thank you. Don't know what that was about. Trolls. We got a couple trolls. All right, so there's that piece. Woo! Now we can move on to some of the fun. I still got a little piece right there, but I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up. See how much easier the good stuff is? Look, no problem at all. So, whew, that other piece had me sweating. Just getting it off. Okay, this is how yours will come. This good stuff right there. I still have a piece of that bad right there I'm gonna have to get to before we go moving in, but I'm hoping that this good piece will kind of help it go with it, which it is to some degree. Let's see if it will stay like that. Okay. There it goes. Oh, don't do that. All right, good. There it goes. You're doing good. Come on, just a little bit left. Do y'all ever talk to your projects? Tell it to be kind. Okay, maybe it's just me. I don't know. It could be, could not be. All right, so here we go. We got this. Got this. Just like 3 more letters, you know? This little corner. It's super strong. Let me go ahead and cut this free. That bad piece. All right, so I got a little piece of it right here. I just got to finagle with, and you can see it pulled a little bit on my design. So I'm going to lift that up just to kind of replace it. Hopefully that does not happen to you, though you don't have that pickle. But if it does, you just got to kind of work with it to make sure it's back down smooth so you don't have any seepage. And then when you get to this area on the painting part, you want to make sure that you blot this more than you do any other section. This little S, though, is just being difficult for me. And so This one will probably be one of those that I go back and touch up. I just hate to say that though. But is this piece that I should have known better using this little tiny scrap when I did this corner. But for some reason, I went ahead and used it anyway. Not thinking, so. All right. I have scraps of some of these things and try to use them up. All right, here we go. Get that little piece right there. Okay. Almost, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. I know it's a lot to watch. Hey, Tammy. I still have your stuff, girl. I need to get with you. Maybe tomorrow we can meet up. Maybe? What you doing? Send me a message. I have some cute little things. I have them right over here, too. I would love, if you want, I can show everybody. We did some reverse canvas projects. And they turned out super cute. Should share them with everybody. Anybody can do them. We just found some cute words and basically made some unique files to like the sizes she wanted, and then put them on the canvas and stain the canvas. We're gonna stain the edging, which I didn't stain because I didn't know what you wanted, but anyway. We got the stain that we can do. If you want this stain I got here, I can do it for you by tomorrow. Or you had your stain, so I wasn't sure what you wanted to do. But anyway, they are done, girl, and they are here for you. Maybe we can meet up. All right. I know I'm struggling in the end here on this little tiny pieces of this S and E, but it's coming, y'all. One more breath, maybe. And it will be free finally. Just so you know, these stencils, we can meet up Thursday, you're off, all right. These stencils do not take this long to peel, but this is the hardest part. But I promise you it should go just as easy as the other just did over here. This just one little corner, I had a leftover piece. I didn't have a full piece, and for the sample. And so I filled in with another brand, which I shouldn't have done. And now it's like that. But it's got a little funky E right there. And my little T, my little R. So, let's see. What is the deal with that? I don't even know. Oh, it folded over. Okay, got it. All right. So, let me see. You see that? And I pulled a little piece with it. So what I'm going to do is be very, very careful not to, I'm going to make a little line right there where the T meets the R. And the best way you can do that is just use some other stencil tape. So that's what I'm doing. I'm putting this one together. But it will come off in a big full sheet like the other. So don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. I know that doesn't look good, but all right. It's just a little piece. Okay, here we go. Perfect. All right, so we're good now. Woo! I'm hot after all that. This little corner I had to use a different kind of stencil cover, like transfer, and it totally ripped the little S right there and the little T. But that's okay. It came off. It took a little bit of work, elbow grease, and we got it. The rest of it, beautiful, came out perfect. So let's get to the fun part, finally. I know y'all are dying. So we said we were gonna do greens and blacks. And so that's what I'm gonna use today, green and black. I had red out for you guys, but you guys said don't go with your traditional, you know, red and green. We're gonna do blacks or black and green. So I'm gonna do a couple different, let me do a little bit of green here. I'm gonna do a couple different shades of green. And what I mean by that is I'm gonna do dark green, light green, and normal green. Can't talk. So to lighten my green, I'm just gonna add white. And to darken it, I'm gonna add black. And so all you're doing is you're getting 3 colors with this kit. You're gonna get black, white, red, and green. And these bunch of these little sponges. And what you're gonna do is basically sponge out your color. So for the top, I'm gonna do the traditional word fresh cut in black, okay? And I had a little drip right there, so it worked out perfect. But basically what you're gonna do is take your little sponge, dip it into your paint, and then kind of like dab it off to the side. And so it's so that you don't have a full like absorption of the sponge. And then you're gonna dab, dab, dab the entire word or letter until you fill in the stencil part. And so that's exactly what I'm doing here. And that's why it's key to have your stencil down all the way flush when you get done. So like the part right here where it lifted, I just gotta make sure that I do it extra light, and if that happens to you, so it doesn't seep through your stencil. Now on your darker colors, you typically have to do 1 to 2 coats. If you're heavy-handed, you could probably get away with 1 coat, but the goal here is not to be so heavy-handed, which I tend to be, because you don't want that seepage. Otherwise, it's gonna be 2 lighter coats on top of each other. And the best way, like I said, is just to dab it out. Dab, 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 with these little sponges. This is the best process for this. I know you guys have seen probably some places or like different people who make stuff, they have where they use like a scraper tool, almost like this, and they scrape the paint in like a silk screen paint. I've done those projects. They work, but those are where you have to be careful because it will seep through. This dabbing method, in my opinion, it's a little bit therapeutic, number 1. And number 2, it prevents that the best way possible. I mean, you could still get it some. I did slightly a little bit yesterday, but you can't see it until you get real up close. So in this one, I'm just doing it very, very, very light, okay? And I'm just starting with my black, and I'm doing the word fresh cut in black. And then on my Christmas trees words, I'm gonna do the darker green, which means I'm gonna blend in my normal green with a little bit of black to kind of darken it up. And then I'm gonna show you how I do the Christmas tree in like a few different shades, which basically is gonna be all made from the 1 color of green, using the black and the white that comes in the kit. So you don't have to worry about having like 50 shades of green. You just gotta have the 1, and you gotta know how to mix it a little bit. And the beauty of it is you can mix it as dark or as light as you want, okay? So you can do it any way you want to do it. However you want to do it. Okay, so let me make sure I'm just dabbing, dab, 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 dab. Any questions so far? I know some of you have joined. This is Christmas in July, 2nd day. We're doing these signs. And I am just doing these little, these are like kits. This one today is gonna be posted up on the website. You're gonna be able to eventually see all of them throughout the next couple of weeks as I get them loaded. But I thought it would be fun to kind of kick it off with all of the ones, like, or some of my favorites anyway, for Christmas, for this last week of July, for Christmas in July. And that's why we are doing this whole week long Christmas projects. I have some other, I'm going to use the second one just because I have so much black that I'm doing. I have some other projects that I can do that are not related to these kits. If you guys want to see those, I can maybe add some more lives this week. If you want to do that, just leave a comment and tell me. I'm happy to do that because I love crafting, and sometimes it's hard to go live, but I kind of like the lives here lately. Anyway, at least they're fun for me. I kind of get hot with the lights, but it's fun, whatever. It's kind of like crafting with a friend, although I'm the only one talking. All right, so got my UT. I got 2 more letters to do here on this part, and I think I'm gonna do the bottom too in the black, just because Christmas trees, and then we're gonna have this real big green tree that's like all the different greens on it. And you can totally do like a green tree and like the word Christmas trees in red. That would be totally cute too. But we kind of voted at the beginning of this one that we're gonna do like that farmhouse, the dark different tones of greens and blacks, that modern vibe. I know you guys have seen, like last year, like at Target, Joanna Gaines had like the green and black different plaids for stockings and like napkins and all the different home decor stuff. So that's the kind of look we're going for with these colors today. Tomorrow we can go back to like traditional Christmas green or do different vibes. I even have a technique tomorrow I will show you where you can add glitter. Now glitter won't come in the kit just because I don't know how it would arrive to you. Might come in a big box of mess, I don't know. But I will show you tomorrow how you can kind of add some glitter to your paint and your sign to kind of give it a little extra something, you know, kind of make it fun or whatever. Whatever to your flavor, your liking. Okay. All right, so I'm doing pretty good here. So I've got one coat on there. I'm gonna kind of let that dry, see how that looks. I see some spots already where it looks like it could be a second coat might be needed. And like I said, with your darker colors, you kind of need to, that's that spot where it kind of picked up. So I'm just making sure it's kind of laid down real good there because you don't want any like, you know, splotchiness through the stencil. So I'm going real light here just to kind of help it. So this might be a little bit more rustic because I'm just doing it so light. I had that bad piece of transfer on the corner, which I apologize. I shouldn't have done that for the live. I just was thinking, oh, let me just use this piece. But normally I use the brand that's the good stuff. So. All right, so I'm just gonna do the bottom section too, and then we're gonna get to the greens, the different shades of greens. And I'm gonna keep my black out here because some of this might need a second coat and you'll need to go back and do the same process with it. The other thing about this too is like, it's the easiest thing to do. It's the easiest, it's like one thing, one motion over and over again. So it's really fun to do it with friends and craft with friends because you can keep crafting like this. You can keep on through the night talking and sharing and hanging out or whatever, you know, that you do with your friends. So this kind of whole thing lets you do that. Okay? All right, so there's my black for now. Here's what it kind of looks like. Got that going on. And now I'm gonna move on to doing the greens. So for the greens, for the whole tree, okay, just to start the first coat on the tree, I'm going to do all the green that it came with. So I'm just gonna get in there and get this whole thing, the one shade of green that I got. And when it goes on the white, it kind of almost looks like it has a lime tint to it because that's how light of a coat you need to start with, okay? That's how light it needs to be. So if you're doing a white background, you need to take note that any of the colors where you want the vibrancy to show, It's gonna take multiple coats to get that more predominant, like vibrant color, okay? So when I get this whole tree coated here, I will show you how it's very, very, very light. So you can kind of see the whole technique here. And I'm just filling in wherever I see the white, I'm filling it in. And the beauty of this, what I like about this on the tree anyway, is kind of like how you hold the squish of the sponge, kind of makes a different impression on the wood. So Joni asked a question, can we buy just this? You can. I haven't put them up separately, but that's probably an option I can do. If you want to do that, Joni, you can send me a message. But for right now, I just kind of have them listed as kits. It's just easier that way to put them all together. But yeah, if you want that, I'm sure your husband could probably cut you one though. Doesn't he do? I think he does. Anyway, just send me a message, Joni. We can figure it out. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting my whole tree finished up here. And you can kind of see where my hand went a little bit darker, a little bit heavier here in the middle. And it's okay because there's no like stencil pieces there, so it didn't like smudge through. But just be careful because like if you go heavy on the corners, you know, that's where you have the opportunity for your stencil to kind of lift up or lift up out of there. So where it'll seep through the bottom, and you don't want that, you know, as best as possible. I might have a little bit going on here because I had that bad piece, but we can always go back with the thin little brush if you make a mistake and fix it. All right, so here's my tree. You see that? See how it's like, that's just the normal green, and it's just however my hand pushed it down. It's not, you know, one way or the other. It's just the way that it is. And so now what I'm gonna do is kind of take some black in on my sponge and just put it in with my green and kind of mix that to make a darker green. And let me just pull it a little close to me so I can kind of see more what I'm doing. And I'm kind of getting like this huntery green going on, and depending on how much black you put in to your green is like the color you're gonna get, okay? So once you kind of get that mixed, and you might even want to like use a popsicle stick or something to kind of stir it all together. Once you kind of get that color that you know, like desired or whatever, then you want to wipe it off, and that's when you want to start the dabbing, which is what I'm going to do here. So this is going to be the darkest green here in the middle. It's going to have that more, you know, darker, I don't know what you want to call that green. Forest green, maybe? It's definitely a darker tint than the green of the tree right now. And so I'm just taking the edge of it and I'm just dabbing it down and through. And because the darkness of this green that I've just made is so dark, I think I might be able to get away with one coat of it. We'll see. I'm just kind of making sure I'm doing it even and just dabbing through wherever I see, you know, there might be a section that was a little lighter than the other. I'll just kind of go back and kind of fill it because I want to make sure I'm staying with a lighter coat just to kind of keep that whole color consistent, you know? Same thing right here. Just doing the same dab, dab, dab. Dab, 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 dab. Dabbing it out, real easy. And then this is where I had like that little section kind of rumpled up. So we'll see how it weathers rumpled, you know, with the stencil being kind of pulled there with that weird piece of transfer. I hate that that happened. I still am going to probably think about that all night now because I used a piece in a quick moment and I shouldn't have. Oh well, it is what it is, right, y'all? It's gonna be okay. All right, so I'm almost done here with the word trees. And this color, I love this color. I think it's gonna pop really good off of the white and then the black, it's gonna look really good. And I was just thinking, you know, it'd be really cool is if you could like take a pencil and stencil out like maybe a soft plaid in the background before you lay your stencil down. How cool would that look? That's if you're getting fancy, I think. But still, that would look really good, I think, on one of these kind of signs. Okay, I'm gonna put that down because it pulled that one piece. I just wanna make sure that I get the corner, but I don't really seep here on my stencil where it pulled it up. And that's the one good thing about this. That's what you can do. Kind of push it down where you see it just if not sticking. It's pretty much good. Making sure I got my little edges. You can kind of see where I kind of went light with the edges there. All right, so let me show you the two greens I got right there. Uh-oh, let me see, I'm still going. All right, sorry y'all, had to walk away for a second. Hope it didn't miss. I'll have my notifications up. I'm late to the party. Don't be late to the party, girl. We are painting. This is the sign so far. I know it's upside down. So I'm doing greens and blacks. These are the colors. The word Christmas tree is a darker green I made with the green that comes in the kit. Now what I'm gonna do is just take that same sponge with the darker green, and what I'm gonna do is just go right down the middle of my tree with it. And then I'm gonna go to the left a little bit, and then I'm gonna go to the right a little bit. So you see what I just did? Like that, you see that? I took that, like it's almost got black on it. I just kind of went down, and I can even use a little bit of that darker green. Just gonna dab it out. I went down the middle, and then I kind of went off to the right, off to the left, right? Okay, this has got to kind of create some dimension in the tree. And also, if you know, you should know anyway, the tree has like a dark stem branch in the middle, or the trunk of the tree. Well, that's the darkness right there. Now, I'm gonna put that one down. I've got my green and white little mix going on right here. And then another one, well, before I do that, let me go back to my main green. I'm gonna take my main green, and I'm just gonna do like a little bit of second coat and fade out that blackiness that is through the center, right? Fading that out side to side, and just kind of technique, I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason. I just am blotting, 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 just like you kind of do your makeup with a makeup sponge, you know, like the little, whatever it is, you blot it out. It's the same thing here. Just kind of texture and blob it out. And there's no other way you can really do this to mess it up. The tree is just a big open section in the middle of this design. There's no, like, there's not a lot of stencil details in the middle of the tree. It's open. So you can totally play around with the colors. Just when you get to the edges, what that tree, you know, where the stencil is, where it might seep. So just be careful with the edge. But in the middle, you have free reign to kind of play with how you blot out the colors of it. You know, you can totally do it any way that you see fit. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of filling up over my black that I just blotted in there. And it wasn't even black, it was the darker green. It might look black on the camera, but it was the darker green that we did in the middle. More of like a hunter green. And I'm just blotting, 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 blotting. Filling that tree in. Let's see. Let me get some more here. Get that. Let me get just a little bit more. And I haven't really used any extra paint. I'm just using the paint that was originally in my thing that I squirted out. So just know that, okay? All right. Now, if you do want to have like some red in here, I just got an idea. Like, and I might do it in the end. I don't know. We'll see. by the way, sprinkle share this video, because if you are sprinkling and sharing this week, you're gonna be entered in to win one of these signs and a free kit. So I'm gonna do some giveaways at the end of the week. So I'll notify you, and I'm gonna go back and check all the days where people came in and shared or sprinkled the video. So just make sure if you wanna be a part of that, you are. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm doing the little bit of light green, and I'm just kind of blotting that out on my little paper there. And now we're gonna add a little flocking to the tree, right? A little bit of snowfall. And I'm just gonna kind of do it towards the top and down. And then I'm just gonna feather it out until the color just kind of dissolves away. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like just down the edges of my tree a little bit, and just like very randomly on down, like here and there in my tree. So it's just very, I don't know, random. Okay? Very just whatever. This will kind of help the tree have some dimension, I think, to it. And, you know, you don't have to be a painter or an artist or anything of that sort to get some dimension in a tree with this technique. So that is the beauty of it. But I really like how big this tree is, because it gives you the ability to kind of play with it. And if you don't like the way it turns out, you can totally go back, which I just put like way too much white there, and cover it back up and start over. Like, you can totally blot it back out again. So I think for this, I'm really happy with that. I'm gonna go back with some black right here on this few words, and I'm just gonna do like a little bit of a second coat here and there, and then we will do the reveal. And if y'all been hanging out with me this long, thank you, I appreciate it. We had a little bit of a like time suck right there on the corner with that bad piece of transfer, but we're good now. I think we're in business, we're rocking and rolling. So I'm just gonna make sure I got the color here where it needs to be, so it shows up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start peeling away my my stencil, and then what you can do is let the stencil dry, like let the entire sign dry. You can go back with some sandpaper and kind of like rough it up so it gives it that whole weathered look, if that's something that you like that look, or you can just like let it dry and add your trim if you decide to do the trim, okay? And I'm gonna probably start with this bad corner, so bear with me. Hopefully I don't have too much crazy bleeding going on, which it looks like I don't. So that's a good sign. We'll see when we get to the more intricate part of it. Can't see it. So when I go to pull my stencil, I do recommend, I know I'm doing this kind of quick, but I do recommend like giving it some time to dry. You cannot, with this stencil paper, if you decide to like hurry it up and dry it with your hair dryer, like I mentioned earlier, don't. You cannot do that with the stencil material. Only if you paint the base. I'm not responsible for that. If you paint your base and you kind of want to hurry the dry along, like the background, you can put a little bit of a heat from a hair dryer or a heat gun to it. But once you lay the stencil, you have to let it dry if we're going to let it dry. Don't apply heat to the stencil, because it is a plastic type of material, and it can melt right onto your board, and then I don't know what you can do to fix it. So once you lay the stencil, there's no heat gun, no hair dryer or anything like that that needs to be applied. You just gotta let it dry and take your time with it, or be brave like I am right now and just pull the stencil kind of early. So that is up to you, but no heat gun. Just a tip for you, okay? All right, so now I'm pulling it here, and look at this, the tree is coming to life. Oh, it looks so good, you guys. I gotta pull out some pieces still, but look how goodness. Okay, let me get my little tool and I'm gonna pull out the little insert so you can get the full look and feel of it. Just to kind of see the whole like effect of it here. Now, these kits, like I said earlier, if you're new, tuning in or whatever, you can get it with or without the trim. If you get the trim, it's just $10 more to add it on. We pre-cut it for you to match your board. And I'm learning how to cut the boards myself, which is kind of fun. Like I said, I've been wanting to work with some wood. And you get the stain with it, and then the wood will actually have some made holes for you to nail in, which the nails will be there too, for you to nail in your boards with a household hammer if you do not have a nail gun. Now, I have a Ryobi Airstrike gun, and it's battery operated, and it is the easiest thing on earth to use. Like, it couldn't be any easier, okay? So I have one little bleed section there, and I thought I saw one more. There's one right there on my tee. So I'm gonna go ahead and just fix that really quick since I have a minute to do that. And it's just white paint from the white background, where it just kind of mixed in with the white. It might have been a section that wasn't dry, or it might be from that bad piece of transfer tape. I'm not sure, but either way, I'm just taking a little tiny paintbrush and I'm just kind of dabbing it, and boom, gone. It is gone for good. Look at that. Ta-da! I love paint. All right, so I'm just gonna, now I can see a little bit more. So I'm just kind of going here and there, but super easy to fix. Paint is forgiving in some senses. Maybe not all, but yeah. All right, and then a little bit in my black here too. So if that happens to you because you got a little bit heavy-handed, this is perfect. Or if you just want to leave it the way it is and wait for it to dry and then sand the entire thing, you can totally do that too. All right, so you guys ready to see and make sure I got all the little pieces out? Yeah? Oh, there's one right there. All right, so you guys ready to see it? I'm so excited. I really love this one. All right, so here it is, fresh cut Christmas trees. And then let me zoom in so you can see my tree. You see the dimension there with the like mixing of the greens, and then it has like a little bit of flocking on the top, so it's a little bit lighter. I'm no artist. Like, I'm sure you could do it way better than I did, or you could do it worse than I did and it would still look good. It would still look fine. So don't freak out about it. All right, so let's add the trim so we can get the full-on effect. We pre-painted this at the very beginning. We pre-stained it, you know, and like I said, it's cut to do it. So on these boards, the one that's cut to length first is the top, and the sides are the ones that make up for the overhang. So it's a little bit different than like how yesterday's board was. And like I said, I'm just using the Airstrike gun because that's faster for me. And I have one. If you don't have one though, you don't need it. You can use the nail holes, okay? That will be there and you'll be able to see them, but they'll be subtle enough to where once you nail it in, you don't have to worry about it, if that makes any sense. And I'm just making sure I'm lined up here. Like that. You guys see that trim on there? Does that look good or what? All right, let's do the top and the bottom. And I kind of like to pick my sides. You know, the prettiest side facing the sign side. Like this. And let's see. Somebody mentioned yesterday, like, where did I get the Ryobi Airstrike gun from? It is from, I got mine at Home Depot, but I can put a link down. I think they're on Amazon. But I also know that Home Depot has what they call, and I know this because of my husband, they have these thing called Ryobi days. It's kind of Ryobi tools going on now because of Ryobi days at Home Depot. So that's just something I'm gonna throw out there if you're interested in it. All right, so let's do my side pieces. Again, I'm just picking the side that I want for this side, and I'm just lining it up. And look, this is kind of taller than me, so I kind of have to get up on top of it here. But in the end, I'll do 2 on the corner, 1 in the middle, and then 2 on the side. And the reason we do 2 on the side on the third piece is you nail 1 towards the back and 1 towards the front of it. So you have your little edge here. We do a nail in the back and a nail in the front. I know my fingers are black, sorry. But there's a nail here and a nail here and then 1 in the middle on these shorter pieces. Just so you can understand how it's all put together, okay? And then we have the final side right here. All pre-cut, all pre-done. Easy. We're just gonna do 1 in the front. Y'all, I'm on my tippy toes and I'm not wearing any shoes to do this. All right, and then right here, again, 1 in the front and 1 in the back. All right, that is done. I love using that Airstrike gun. All right, so, oh, wait, it's upside down. So here's the finished look. Look how cute. Let me back up so you can see. Fresh cut Christmas trees. What do you guys think? Tell me, leave me a comment, let me know. Sprinkle and share the video because you might be able to win this sign or a free kit once they're all loaded towards the end. So make sure you sprinkle because I love it when you sprinkle. That's the word I use. Sprinkle, share, whatever. And once you sprinkle it, you can say, I sprinkled. That helps me find that you sprinkled it. It's totally fine to do that here. Just put it there for me in a comment and I'll know and I can check you off and put you into entry for winning. But yeah, what you'll want to do after this is you can take like a clear polyacrylic or like a wax and just put a clear thin coat. I don't recommend a heavy coat. A thin coat over top of it to kind of preserve it and keep it in place. So that it just lasts a little bit longer. But you can totally leave it just with the paint too. But look how cute this turned out. And then how cute would this be? Like, okay, just to kind of give you an idea, this is the part that I get so excited about. Once it's done, just imagine this in your head, okay? Think of like those windowsills. Am I saying it right? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the vintage windows, they have like, you know, I'm gonna see if it'll stand right there. Like it has like 6 or 9 different window panes. So this is a vertical sign. Imagine having one like tipped on its side and painted like maybe red, right? Behind it, layered with like another frame or something kind of simple, kind of like, you know, layered up at different heights. How cute this would be positioned in front of it. Or maybe you have like a little vignette in your home or you have like a fireplace or a mantle area and like you could have this in the middle where you have like 2 different trees on the sides and you can even like cluster it. It doesn't have to be perfectly even unless you're one of those people that need it to be like even on either side. I feel like even is where it looks evenly off. I know that is crazy to say, but it's true. Like what I'm thinking of in my head is if I was going to put this on the mantle, I'd have like a taller tree. Let me get in the view. I'd have a taller tree and then like maybe one shorter, but still like able to peek out over top of the sign. And then maybe like a thicker, bushier, just one tall one on this side. And so like there would be balance, but it would be different. And so that is like the look I'm thinking of with something like this or with a sign like that. That whole layered look. The beauty about this is this sign is like a perfect size. It's big enough to be like, wow, but it's not like too big where it's like, whoa. So, super cute. This one will be listed today. I'm going to do a couple of things once I get off this live, and then I will come back to this video and put the link to the kit where you can actually purchase this kit. Super fun though, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Sorry it took me a little bit there with the transfer tape at the beginning. That was a pickle. I promise you yours won't come like that. And I will see you guys tomorrow, 4 p.m. We will do another sign, and I think we're gonna do one with a little bit of glitter technique in it. So it's gonna be cute. Maybe I'll start decorating for Christmas now, right? Maybe, maybe not. All right, I'm having fun doing these. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna leave it right here so I can get over there and hit the button. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.